In the shadows they gather, with their banners raised high, a song of defiance echoes beneath the sky. They rise up in the night with passion burning bright.
In the shadows they stand with courage so bold, fighting for the land legends to behold. They whisper of hope like tales of old. Right-wing heroes rise, their stories unfold. Oh, they carry the flame ever bright, guiding us home through the night.
In our little town so serene, where the grass is green, the air is so clean, we gather round the table every night. Joyful days, oh, once I end, with values passed, with generations past, living life with love that is surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight. In our hearts the same fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine, working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright, got too tight, in our hearts the same old fire. Yeah, oh, and we sway with every change of time, but in our hearts, old love and soul, that may be in our hearts, getting like a thought ain't not in this fast-paced world we can fight. Traditions keep our hearts going wild, but you'll find in our hearts simple ways, we got it by the good old days.
We stand firm in our belief,
hold tight.
Through the times clearer we can see, crazy world spinning round.
Stay grounded.
In our hearts simple truths agree, whisper of freedom and liberty
rings true.
Our foundation strong and deep, holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady paths we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow. In the story we've built for trust and doubt, time flies but we won't bend. Communists talk loud and fast,
stay solid.
Our quiet strength is our reply. So salute to change but pause,
reflect
in unity our dearest friend, holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady paths we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow. In shadows we find our light, through chaos we stay upright.
stay
With courage, faith on our side,
forever.
standing firm our guide, holding on to what we know, while the rest rest of the world, let's go. Steady path we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow.
In the heart of the jungle there's a whisper. John Birch, a soldier, takes the lead. With the spirit so brave he conquers darkness. On his mission hear the call, take heed. Through the shadows red wild winds blow. He's seeking the truth where few dare to go. John in the heart of the wild. John on a journey so styled. John in the heart of the With faith in his soul that speaks to the lost, bringing warmth with every tale he tells. Through the valleys and hills where the rivers cross, he fights for the ones who dwell in the shells. With every step he dances with faith, unraveling tales that forever await. John in the heart of the wild, John on a journey so styled. John in the heart of the wild. Through the battles, through the night, he carries a flame, a guiding light. For every soul that's searching for peace in his heart, may the sorrow cease. John in the heart of the wild, John on a journey so styled. John in the heart of the
This is what we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right, don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace this life our way. Tradition calls, if you don't stand firmly, hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. So share a smile today in this community that we build. With love and respect, that's how our hearts can fill. We carry forward, we know our truth. In this great land, it's our time to move. If you want to stand firm in your lane, in new direction, hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. Let's hold on to our dreams and cherish every moment. With values intact, we trust in them. We find our hope. Tradition calls. If you don't stand firm in your lane, you lose your direction. Hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection.
You know I'm standing firm while the world keeps a turn, trying to shake my freedom, but I ain't gonna frown. But darling, darling, hold your goblin hand. All you both can dictate, but I'm learning to stand. With the spirit of the wild, yeah, I'm ready to fight. I know more mindless thinking so I got my eyes open. Baby, I can't sway. I'm fighting for its rights, and call me the free-range mind. Never gonna waver. I'm a rebel with a cause. While others search for safety, I'll be raising my voice. Honey, I got my dreams and they're worth all my woes. I'll be living for tomorrow. Let the whole world know. Cause freedom not a game, it's a rhythm in my soul. Reaching for the stars, yeah, that's how I roll. Baby, I can't sway. I'm fighting for my rights, and call me the free-range mind. Got fire burning, and it won't be tamed. With every stride and stride I take, I'll always proclaim, stand tall, stand proud, let the people know my name. In the night we rise, in the morning the same. Baby, I can't sway. I'm fighting for my rights, and call me the free-range mind.
Times are changing, feel the buzzing, staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights. With the star-spangled banner, I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision, in God we make decisions. For our dream, through thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery, with liberty. In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old we'll keep, as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway, in the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
Golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow wide, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains all, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's sky. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Culturama, where on this show we are trying to reclaim the zeitgeist and reintroduce American traditional principles back into the current discourse. And by doing that, we are trying to occupy every aspect and every element of online right-wing discourse and other political discourse as well. And one way we do that is by covering the news, of course. Now, the reason why Culturama was initially launched was so that we can battle against the infectious elements of postmodernism going into and seeping into every major institutional facet of the American dream and the American identity. And we have greatly witnessed that this last weekend. And now I've talked about the LA riots just a little bit during my gaming stream on Saturday. And for those that don't make it to that, I highly encourage you that you do show up every Saturday for the gaming stream. But alas, I'm going to be talking about the LA riots quite a bit more extensively on tonight's show, of course. I was just talking about it casually on Saturday, and today we're going to be actually covering the news here. And boy, I have heard that there are some crazy on-the-ground reporting happening. Now, I have a few friends that already do this, that were on the ground, did report it. I also looked at some news sources as well, and it's crazy, obviously. The violence is now they're shooting, rioters are now shooting at police officers. We're going to be watching a clip about that, including many more clips, but it's quite unfortunate that we have devolved to this point. Now, of course, I think it's quite obvious what my stance on this is. I'm not going to harp on the necessity of reclaiming American nationality and the American identity and why that's so important for the American culture and our own personhoods as Americans, as American citizens. But I'm going to be covering more on the factual side of the information, what's happening here. And of course, I'll be playing videos, reading articles, talking about that. So if that's your cup of tea, you might want to stick around for that. But of course, for those that are new here, that have no idea what the political position is of this stream, I'll just be clear about it right here first before we move on. We are not on the side of the rioters here. In fact, we think that retaining the integrity of American national identity is actually quite paramount for the American culture. And for those that have noticed, Culturama is in the title here, and that's what we think is the most important, is to retain a culture, to provide a culture, to live in a culture, and immerse oneself in a culture first has to be present. And the multiculturalism that we have been infected with, that we have been enduring under for this long is obviously, causing some major strife in this country. So, and this is, one of the outcomes of that. When you push the doctrine of multiculturalism to a point where you're living in a nation that is frankly unlivable, and where it seems as though we are importing specifically third world country cultures in this nation, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. We're going to have rioters. We're going to have activities like this. So we're going to cover exactly what this entails, okay? So I want to thank each and every one of you that has decided to show up already. I see that the viewer count is increasing. If you can, please, from the bottom of my heart, like the stream, share it, follow it. Unfortunately, Culturama couldn't do on-the-ground work at the LA riots. I live a little bit away from California, but we will still cover some of the footage that people have captured here first and foremost. I wasn't aware of the riots. Like I said, I didn't do a live stream immediately when I heard about it because it was happening Friday night, and I was actually unaware of the extent of it. And then Saturday, I decided to do a little bit of coverage of it during my video gaming stream, but there is still a lot more to cover here, and that's what we're going to be doing here today, primarily. So that's the first thing and the main thing in the news. Of course, there's other things in the news that we'll cover here, but we're going to proceed first and foremost with the LA riots, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank each and every one of you, like I said, that has joined us. Okay, we have decent viewership on Rumble for like the first 20 minutes. Like I said, please like, share the stream. If you are watching this on Twitter, please like it, share it, retweet it. Please follow the stream if you can. Please subscribe or follow Culturama on Rumble. It will be much appreciated. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly gentlemen, based on the statistics that Rumble shows me. But anyways, we have JJ in the chat. JJ, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh. We already have a donation come in. $2 from Mr. Lapsurdi. What up from West Virginia, Mr. Lapsurdi? Originally from YouTube, I think you first started chatting. Now you made it to Rumble. Thank you so much for joining. It's so good to see you. I was going to say hello to you next. Thank you for joining Culturama today, ladies and gentlemen, where we cover the nittiest of grittiest of news. It doesn't matter how dark it is. We cover it here first and foremost. We also have Bucks Nasty. Hello from the future. Hello, Bucks Nasty. Very good to see you. I don't know what you mean by that, but it's very good to see you from the future. Mr. Pig, of course, is in the chat. JJ wrote, so are people doomed to suffer in their shithole land? Swearing off the bat in the first 30 minutes of this show already. Thank you, JJ. In their shithole lands with no way to escape. I'm just asking as a devil's advocate. Bucks Nasty, oh, you're from EST. Okay, thank you. Yes, it's 5 o'clock here, or 8 o'clock, I think. They're in the EST world. Welcome, Bucks Nasty. Yes, JJ, so are people doomed to suffer in their shithole lands with no way to escape? I'm just asking as devil's advocate. Beautiful question, JJ. And listen, I completely understand that question. You know, listen, I am a byproduct of what you are describing, okay? My parents were immigrants from Europe, but, you know, they came here as refugees as well. So in a nation that was actually, you know, nationally crumbling, the USSR. Now, what I will say is this, okay? I am not opposed. They should fix their own country. Thank you for the answer, Mr. Pig. I was getting to it. You don't have to provide me with the answers before I say them, but I appreciate it. Mr. Pig is always looking out for me. No, for instance, the South Africans that we have just received as well. I think people that are clearly, this is what I'm going to say, JJ, because originally I wasn't against immigration, and I would say as a rule, I am not necessarily against immigration. What I am, however, is practical and pragmatic, and what I see happening right now in the country of the United States specifically is that we are the only nation that brings these people with open arms from anywhere in the world, okay? Anywhere in the world, where we don't have these stringent specifications about who we can accept, even though we like to claim we do, but we don't. And then we let these people in. And not only do we not enforce them to assimilate, but we actually allow them to, you know, speak their, and it's fine. I'm a second language. English is my second language. But English isn't even like the national language, okay? So I think that in any other country, this wouldn't fly, but it's flying in the United States. We have, you know, obviously issues with the electoral system that is also questionable in relation to this issue. So there's a lot of things that have to be fixed here. And so on a practical, strategic level, I think an immigration moratorium would be best for us at this juncture. I'm not saying I'm against immigration as a whole. To reiterate what Mr. Pig said, I think first and foremost, additionally, it should be the expectation of the people in that country to better their country. Okay? But also on top of that, and I'm just going to be real here, I'm going to be very honest, and you know, this might ruffle some feathers. Culture matters. We have been importing people, like I said, from third world nations that are in some cases entirely antithetical to our own. And I'm, you know, of course I'm talking about the Islamic nations. You know, Haitians as well, I think are very much antithetical to what the West is. Haitians, Latin Americans, you know, again, if they come here legally, okay, I'm not opposed to, but it's specifically the Islamic nations that I have an issue with. And so we are importing these people from these countries that their cultures are not only antithetical to our culture here in the United States, unfortunately, but some of them adhere to a religion of conquest, okay, that could pose a problem to our greater interests of this country. And that is what I have an issue with. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say. Now, again, if people in that country are so industrious, are so innovative, and are so have these resources or this frame of mind where they can come into our country and better our country, why don't they do that in their own country? Okay, that's all I'm going to ask. It's an obvious question. If the people in India, right? Because we looked at statistics before, it's like 60% of H1B visas are from East India. So I am confidently going to mention that country here. If East Indians are so incredibly innovative and are, enriched with all this knowledge, and we're bringing them in here on the H-1B visa program, why do they not better their countries? Why are they inflicting their country with the brain drain? Again, another good question, especially since we are struggling with the housing market and the job market here in our country already. So, but that's my 2 cents to answer your question, JJ. Anyways, but welcome Merlin Wielder, I think, the third on YouTube. Very good to see you. And yes, if you guys want me to answer any of your questions or cover any news story that you specifically want, and I don't get to your comment, please send in a Rumble rant. I will ring off that sound effect, and I'll read your comment here live on stream. Within reason, of course. There's a couple words you can't say in this stream, but for the most part, I'll read your comment. Sean M. from YouTube. Immigration, for the most part, is unnatural. In truly dire situations, sure, but even then, they immigrate to the closest safe place with the same culture and people. Planes were a mistake. Yes, Sean M. Absolutely right. Beautifully said. Originally, when people would immigrate into other countries, they would still be likened. I mean, their cultures will be like somewhat related, and it would be far more easier integrated. Beautiful point. And today, in our highly globalized world, where we have all the interconnectedness through technology, it's very difficult to live within those circumstances. Obviously, the interconnected world, there's a lot of benefits to it with the efficiency of communication. And the efficiency of transmitting information, of course. There's also a lot of downsides, like the unintended consequences, or perhaps intended consequences, I don't know, of immigration. Big Plane doesn't want you to know, says Mr. Pig. Big Plane doesn't want you to know that it's importing third world countries, or I'm sorry, cultures in your country. Okay, everyone. I promised you some videos. I'm going to play some videos here. Who is ready for a That was a little loud. My apologies there. It is the LA Riots, everyone. Who's ready for a party? I don't have the picture of Hassan pulled up, but anyways, rioters are now shooting at police. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Do you see that? Is my OBS working? Yes. Look at this, everyone. Amazing. Okay, so there's this stable genius right here with the gun. He's coming in next to this chain link fence. Hold on, I need to examine this footage myself. Yeah, there he is. And the bullets are emanating from his gun towards law enforcement. Ladies and gentlemen, I know people were joking on Saturday night saying, oh, they're killing the protesters, they're killing the protesters, they're killing the rioters. And some people in the right-wing online spaces were joking, okay, making that joke. And I thought, oh my God, this must be wild. So I tuned in after my gaming stream, and I tried to see, and it was a joke. I fell for it. No one was killed. But we are only approaching Tuesday the 10th, and already they're shooting at law enforcement. Is it a joke? Things are getting pretty testy and violent over there, obviously. And I know they had mounted police come in yesterday. I know the Marines were sent as well. I believe so yesterday. So if not earlier today. And things are obviously getting heated here as well. 700 Marines 11 hours ago. So it was last night. 700 Marines deployed to LA amid anti-ICE protests. Let's take a listen and look at this footage here as well. This was last night.
Continue over immigration raids. Police and crowds facing off in Los Angeles and Orange County. This morning.
No subtitles on this show. If you need subtitles, I don't know how you can watch, but anyways.
Law enforcement is gearing up for a 5th day of unrest.
Look at that.
Here's a look at the latest.
So Trump mobilizing another 2,000 National Guard troops, 700 Marines deployed to LA last night, and over 70 people arrested over the weekend, 5 LAPD officers injured. No bloodshed yet in the sense that anyone passed away. Thank God, no deaths. Given the fact that the rioters are now shooting at law enforcement, I don't know how long that remains to be seen. But, you know, fingers crossed, prayers that no one will lose their lives in this. As far as I'm aware, no lives have been lost unless something happens during the stream or I missed it. I'm sure someone will inform me in the chat. But obviously, it's getting pretty heated, and there's really no signs yet of them receding their forces.
Developments. President Trump is mobilizing an additional 2,000 National Guard members to help protect federal buildings in LA. Now, that doubles his initial deployment. Also, 700 U.S. Marines are headed to LA. The Marine,
like accidentally Suave said in the chat, smash that like button harder than the rioters are hitting LA. You got it. Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Anyways.
Marines are from an infantry battalion based in 29 Palms. The LAPD says more than 70 people were arrested over the weekend and 5 police officers were hurt. The Trump administration's decision to put more boots on the ground is being met by strong criticism from LA leaders.
Mario Ramirez kicking off our team coverage of the protest, joining us live from the Federal Detention Center in downtown. Mario.
Look at that chaos ensuing.
Robert, good morning. As local law enforcement is preparing for another day of demonstrations, we can tell you that the National Guard is stationed here around federal buildings. We're just outside the detention center. You can see them there. This federal building really became a focal point for protesters after it emerged that ICE detainees were being held here. And now hundreds of Marines are expected to join the National Guard under Trump's orders as tensions continue to escalate.
Good. Listen, I know there's a lot of difference of opinion on this. I know that some of the libertarians have their own opinions on this. Some Republicans or conservatives have their own opinion of this. I believe in law and order, so I think we should enforce that law and order, everyone. At the end of the day, we need to be practical. We need to be real about what's actually happening here. We have had very poor immigration policy. Very subversive elements surrounding immigration policy as well, bringing in these people into our country, okay, and pushing the doctrine of multiculturalism for the last 10, 20 years now. And this is the consequence of it. And our only normal reaction, the only natural reaction of a national people, of a particular culture, should be to respond. And this is how we respond. Removed from anything related to the legality of this, although I do think that this is still quite legal and unnecessary to enforce the law. Again, these people are here illegally. At least that's what the original riots or protests were embattled against, was law enforcement arresting people that were here illegally, but that's beside the point. We are here to enforce the law, and part of that law is to not have people here that are illegal. But you know what? I don't want to say it in the week before Father's Day, no less. I know, JJ, it's wild. I don't know if I should say this on stream, but I probably will say it. You know, the people that were protesting, like the Hassan Pikers, the people that are protesting for this or rioting actually for this, maybe deport them too. I don't know. I don't know, because like they're single-handedly against the national, first of all, sovereignty, and second of all, the national security of our country. Should we really keep them here? This is, of course, a hyperbolic question, but I think it's still worthy to ask ourselves that question. There's another riot that is incited by a female corporate nepo baby, writes JJ. Really, a female corporate nepo baby. Many such cases.
Take a look. About 700 U.S. Marines from the 2nd Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment out of 29 Palms received weekend orders and are on the way, expected to arrive this morning. And although they're trained for close combat, officials say these Marines won't be on the front lines. Instead, they'll be focused on crowd control and de-escalation. Those are skills that they've been trained in specifically for this additional 2,000 National Guard troops under President Trump's order, and that now pushes the number of military personnel to more than 4,000, with growing opposition from Governor Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass. The governor.
Let's watch this guy. Now, this guy's a YouTuber. I don't really watch him at all. I'm sure. What's his name? Nick Shirley. I should give him some credit. Nick Shirley went on the ground and he interviewed some of these people, and I wanted to watch it here with you folks today, just so we can get a feel of what these people think, what they believe in. Are they upstanding people? Do they believe in the social mores that you and I may believe in? Let's take a listen and see.
LA has erupted over the past few days as ICE officials came in and carried out a few raids. The past few days have been wild here on the streets of LA. Cars have been burnt, intersections have been taken over. Local and state officials are not happy with what's going on with the federal government. The footage you're about to see is absolutely insane. The police are coming through right now. Speak no more and get into the video. Everyone's out here protesting right now. ISIS came through here down in LA. The streets are erupting here. Let's see what's going on.
Accidentally Swab says Nick is based. Good. I'm glad I found a good channel then.
The National Guard has been deployed out here into the streets of LA. Thousands of protesters are here on the streets right now. Right here on this federal building, you have words like F-ICE, revolution starting here, here for my family, all sorts of stuff. Right here you have the National Guard. They've come through. You have troops, about 300 in different directions. Trump sent in about 2,000 people. There's groups of 300 sent around the city right here. And this one is at the side of the federal building here at one of the ICE detention centers here in LA. What's your message to the National Guard here today?
So this is what we're going. These are the contributions of the riders. Like I said, very stable geniuses. And I want for us to be able to kind of pick apart what they're saying, pick their brains, and see where these people are coming from. You know, we have to look from their perspective. Let's take a listen.
Here in LA. What's your message to the National Guard here today?
The National Guard.
And why do you think they got sent out here today?
F the National Guard. All right.
They got sent because we don't have a president that can lead.
And what fears you most about Donald Trump and the ICE raids coming through here in Los Angeles?
I don't fear that motherfucker. Have you seen our community? I don't feel that motherfucker.
Donald Trump, homeboy on a motherfucking real fuck that piece of shit.
There's an ad. Whoops. If you guys want to play this game, the Island Farm.
Diffuse tear gas. If needed. Yeah. If you throw a canister in one of these, it should diffuse it enough, or at least stop the chemical reaction.
What makes you want to come out here with the Honduras flag out here?
I mean, these are my roots right here, you know? This is where my family came.
These are his roots, but he is in America. It's time to settle new roots, buddy.
I'm a first gen.
A lot of people wonder on social media why.
He's a first gen, just like I am. Listen, there's no. I understand to have pride, especially if you're an early generation here in the United States. Completely understandable, completely natural to take pride in your ethnic heritage from the old country where your parents or perhaps where your grandparents came from. I completely understand that, and I think it's kind of cool that people are aware of their ethnic heritage. I think that's really interesting. A person that doesn't really have that background, you know, I wouldn't say is lacking. Heritage Americanism is also very interesting, but there is something special about having recent ethnic roots, what I mean to say is like your family recently being here. I completely understand that sentiment. I am part Ukrainian, part Georgian, and I take a lot of interest in the Ukrainian culture. I think it's really cool, even, people of Latin American countries to the Orient, to even Europeans, knowing their ethnic heritage and taking pride in it. I think that is super cool. You probably shouldn't attack the country that you're living in regardless. That's just a tip. That's a life hack. If you do not want to get in trouble, if you want to enjoy the amenities of the country that you're living here, perhaps be a little thankful for it. Do not bite the hand that feeds you, especially when we're living under this administration, because it seems like this administration doesn't want to play ball. They're setting their own rules, okay? And they're following them to the extent that they can to make America a better nation. And part of that is stripping away some of the falsehoods that were pushed onto us relating to multiculturalism and how great it is. The diversification of America, everyone, this is the outcome of it. Again, have no issue with people of different ethnicities being in this country. However, especially when you take in recent immigrants, right, to an enormous degree, when the host people are struggling to even replace birth rates, there's going to be problems. There's going to be a lot of conflict. And this is how it's going to look like. It's not just going to be limited to LA, guys. It's going to be everywhere. But anyways.
Why are people coming out here?
JJ asked, did you see the Mexican Senate president saying they want to take back territory from America? Yes, I did. And we will be talking about that after the next commercial break or so. Believe me, we still have a lot of news to cover, so don't worry. But we'll be talking about that. I'd rather be here than the Grifter Pools stream. Thank you, Laissez-Faire, bro. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Tim Pool. I'm not a fan of him lately, but thank you so much. See, Sonderoth is in the chat. Are they too stupid that they don't realize screaming F Trump will change anything? Maybe it's just cathartic, I guess. I don't know.
With other nationalities' flags, if they don't like America, why don't they go back to
I love America and what it represents. The idea of America to our people is a better future and an opportunity to have a job and create something that in our homes we don't have. So we love America. We want to be here. We want to contribute.
So then why are you flying other flags of other nations? I'm just curious.
And I agree. The people that have committed crimes and like an actual crime of murder, something like that, I can agree with that. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say no, keep everybody here. Yeah. But the people who are here, hardworking people.
Right now, do you think it's right for them to go after the most dangerous people like they say they're doing?
I mean, I don't see nobody here has attacked them. And they initiated all of this. We're peacefully protesting.
Just to reiterate, everyone, just to remind you what these riots or these protests are originally about. Originally, it was about protesting against what law enforcement was doing, which is exactly what this young gentleman here is saying, is sending back these potential dangerous criminals, regardless, people that were here illegally. Okay? That's what he's protesting against.
They're the ones that come out with riot shields. They come out with billy clubs and all kinds of shit. I don't know who's the aggressor here, but it ain't us. You!
I don't know who's the aggressor here, but it ain't us, says a guy with the Honduras flag and the face mask, or whatever that was called. The face sock.
Ones that come out with riot shields, they come out with billy clubs and all kinds of shit.
Because you people are unruly and, causing burning cars down and Waymos.
I don't know who's the aggressor here, but it ain't us.
You! I can't wait to know you! Take off your badge, big boy! Take off your badge! Coward! Get that shit in my fucking face!
Okay. That guy's yelling at the ICE officials for being a coward for wearing a mask. Meanwhile, he also has a mask on. What's your message to the police officers in the National Guard right now?
They've got a choice. They don't have to do this fucking shit. That's it. They can either be American citizens or they can be what they're doing right now.
You don't think they're acting like as American citizens?
No.
Do you think they're trying to protect the country or make it a more dangerous place?
What do you mean? Like, this is way, way beyond what it needs to be.
something's about to break out real soon. If these people keep taunting the police officers with all these other flags, all these other words they're saying to these police officers and National Guard, something's about to happen.
You guys suck! Christy Lewis! You guys
Oh my god, I'm having flashbacks to Chaz, everyone. I wasn't at... It's called a balaclava. Thank you, laissez-faire, bro. That's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say baklava because I didn't think that'd be accurate. This is reminding me of Summer of Love, everyone. I'm just getting flashbacks. I live near Seattle, so it's just reminding me of that.
I can tell you're very upset.
Of course we are. Yeah. We feel some burning in the eyes right now. Upon arrival here, everybody be prepared. We still fight for the legal.
Why is she talking like that?
Legalization of all
I'm being
occupied territories. This was indigenous land. This was Mexico. This
She's
is all.
trying to sound indigenous.
Turf. These motherfuckers. Free them all!
Stolen people on stolen land. Black people were stolen. And it was taken from the indigenous. Stolen people on stolen land.
What's your message to ICE and to the federal government today?
Just the message just straight up is this is government.
I'm sorry, what's that on his arm? Do you guys see that? Hold on. Can I not zoom in here? What's that on his shoulder? It looks like a man pig. Pay attention to his shoulder. Anyway.
Corrupt as people need to start realizing that shit. And
he has the entire story of the Bible printed as a graphic novel on his arms.
And we need a factory reset. We need some justice up in here. Just for everybody. Straight the fuck up. You know what I mean?
You have lots of tattoos, and people oftentimes interpret tattoos with being part of a gangs and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been checked for gangs or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm focused on some other shit right now. I'm not worried about that, though. You know?
You're not worried about that?
No answer.
So essentially,
no answer there. He wasn't ready to give an answer for that question. Doesn't he kind of look like Elon Musk?
Yeah.
If Elon Musk went a different direction in life, I can kind of see it.
I'm focused on some other shit right now. I'm not worried about that, though. You know?
You're not worried about that? So essentially, all that's happening right now is that ICE, police, DHS, and the National Guard are just holding a line here outside this federal building. Protesters haven't...
Accidentally Suave says that's how ghetto people speak. I mean... Is it? She sounded like a stereotypical, like a person that's trying to emulate the stereotypical speech of a Native American. It felt a little forced, but perhaps that's how ghetto speak is these days too. Correct?
So I'm back at the police squad.
I will say, I didn't grow up around like bad parts of town, so perhaps it went over my head. Maybe that's how those people speak. I got busy cooking. What did I miss? Barney Styles, you missed the unveiling of a new United States right here, because Trump is not letting this slide, and I'm glad he isn't, because we've been letting it slide for too long, and this is what happens when you let it slide for too long. You don't have your own country back, and we're trying to reclaim it back.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Could be happening very soon.
This was our land. All this is stolen. And what? Now we're fucking illegal here. We're gonna die. Are you fucking kidding me? You're not fighting for. You're not fighting for this country.
We're gonna dox you. We're gonna dox you. We're gonna dox you.
Have you ever heard content creators say,
Bro,
comment the word...
I can't do this with these ads. I really need to get an ad blocker and invest in that.
I love this flag right here.
You just said you love that flag right there. What's your favorite thing about the Mexican flag? What colors? What's the purpose of bringing out the Mexican flag?
Colors.
Oh, we are in the United States.
Honestly, I have no idea, bro. I just came here to just show out. That's it, bro.
It's a very
Do you think it's
chill
low-key
area.
like, all right, if you want to rep your flag, go back to your country kind of vibe, or do you think people are just upset with what's going on?
I don't know. Honestly, like, it's true, you know, like, we did come, but, like, I don't know, bro. Just, they're here already. They don't want to leave.
Why are they protesting what's going on here in the United States if they don't want to go back to their country?
Because they think it's, like, it's stolen land, so they think they could just come in here, you know, and take over.
Then this guy right here is essentially taunting National Guard right here, saying National Guard, LOL. Meanwhile, National Guard is right there with their troops. The lawyers have arrived.
Yeah.
What are you guys here to do?
We don't talk to press, I'm sorry.
Okay, and what's your guys' job here to do?
We're legal observers with the National Lawyers Guild, so we're a third party. Yeah.
So if the protesters say they touch a police officer, one of the members of the National Guard, who's at fault? if they then detain
we don't.
just look up national skill. So the people with the green hats, they essentially watch to see if law enforcement does anything that they could then go and sue them for. So who knows who they get paid by. However, their job is to make sure that if a protester does get detained, they get all the name, info, so that they can go and file a lawsuit as they're part of the National Lawyers Guild. And a lot of people wonder who funds that group with the green hats. Is it George Soros?
Very upstanding individuals, as we'll have come to see in this video. Of course, we're going to be watching a lot more as we progress with this stream. I just want to cover a bit more news here. So everyone stay tuned, because what do I have next? Someone mentioned Mexico, and I think that's what I have next here. And Trump versus Gavin Newsom. We have a lot more to cover, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be covering some of how people back here in America are reacting to this news as it is unfolding. And then on top of that, how officials in Mexico are responding. So please stay tuned. We will be right back. Grab yourself a snack. Get yourself a couple bucks to donate, because we have a lot more to cover here. I will be right back, everyone.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the 4 olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah. Who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have "Glad You Came Out" and "I'm so happy that you're queer" in the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
Up. I'm not doing anything. Get the fuck out of here. Just like.
Welcome back to Culturama, where we are talking about hard-hitting news, and today we are covering some of the footage that people have captured when they have attended these LA riots over ICE, everybody. And this Nick Shirley, or whatever his name is, actually, what is his YouTube? Nick Shirley, yes. This guy, he got some pretty good footage, and I wanted us to just look it over here. Doesn't it look like he's in a sea full of people wearing burqas? It's amazing. It looks like he's in Saudi Arabia, but he actually isn't. He is in Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen. We got the tough guy over here wearing the bucket hat. Well, there's two tough guys wearing bucket hats.
You are, you fucking Republican bitch. Bro, you don't need to put. This is one of them. They're gonna get it. I don't give a. I'm gonna fucking tell it to his fucking face. You fucking little faggot. What did I do? You know what the fuck you do? What did I do? You know you antagonize people. Oh, you.
By the way, he's just asking people questions. And he's antagonizing people.
Fucking bitch ass up. No, I'm not doing anything. Get the fuck out of here. Just like the cops. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, I have a right to be here just like you.
Yeah, so do we, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm not.
So why the cops here? You're a fucking cop. That's what you fucking are. Cop. Yeah, you are. You fucking
I'm not a cop.
You want to fucking steal that shit?
Get out of here, bro.
What? I'm fucking cornered, you little bitch. Are you scared?
I'm not scared.
You fucking faggot. What
did I do?
You're a little fucking bitch. I fucking see you on fucking line. Okay. Oh, you're fucking antagonizing right-wing fucking ideology, motherfucker. Okay. This is our fucking land, you fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Dude, I have every right to be here.
I don't give a fuck not today. I'm the fucking police. I'm telling you not to be here, motherfucker.
Well, I want to be here.
Well, I'm fucking telling you not to be here.
Get out of my way.
Towards the cops, you fucking faggot.
Get out of here.
Little fucking asshole. I know you are, you fucking right-wing motherfucker.
It does, Bernie Styles. It does look like a hate crime to me, too.
Bitch.
I have a right to be here just like you.
What does his shirt say? I can't even see what it says.
Well, I'm gonna be right next to you the whole fucking time.
Okay.
Fucking high as hell, you little faggot.
He's calling him a Nazi, by the way. Did you hear that? White guy, basic plain t-shirt, no Mexican flags, just going there asking people, hey, what is it that, why are you here? What motivates you to be here? And that's enough to have him be called a Nazi. This is the state of our country, everybody, okay? This is the state of SoCal. This is the state of America under the doctrine and the dogma of multiculturalism.
Do it. That guy's mad at me for being here.
This is why it's so important to understand, and I'm going to reiterate this again, why we're not just an economic zone. Okay, listen, I understand that we are a free country, full of free peoples, open for free peoples that do want to come here and contribute to the economy, obviously. Again, I'm partial towards those that are coming in our country with similar cultures, but I am more than happy to allow people of all cultures into our country, but there has to be a limit, and we have to be aware and honest about what will happen when you introduce all these conflicting perspectives in one nation. Now, America is big, but it's not that big, and at some point you will reach a boiling point, sort of like, boiling the frog in the water. You will reach a boiling point where people are not able to deal with each other. Because of all these contending perspectives and worldviews, it will eventually come to pass where violence will erupt, birth rates will decline, and regimes will persist onward, such as the one that we have here today. And if you're unhappy with Trump, if you're like a libertarian that's watching me that is unhappy with Trump, we've gotten to this place. And I want to say this first and foremost, we've gotten to this place because Trump was swung into popularity once he decided to run his campaign on the platform of immigration reform back in 2015, 2016. Because even then, 10 years ago, people were sick of it. They weren't allowed to talk about it as much in mainstream politics. We have made far strides in mainstream politics about what we can talk about. Of those, believe it or not, was about the necessity of locking our borders, securing our borders, locking them, securing them, reforming immigration policy, and contributing towards a consistent American culture. That used to be taboo to talk about, not anymore. The melting pot has indeed become the powdered keg. Accidentally suave. Thank you. You've encapsulated right there. Podcast is over. Because that's absolutely true. The melting pot has become the powdered keg. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, accidentally suave. But yes, that's absolutely true. We are reaching explosive times right now because of the doctrine that I would say it's like an aspect of multiculturalism, or the wider liberalist, that's a word, the wider liberal doctrine that we have been suffering under, that taught us, first of all, in like the blank slate theory, which also isn't true. I've recently written about that. The blank slate theory, the idea of borderless nations, of a global system, of an interconnected system where everyone is the same. Well, guess what? Not everyone is the same. Imagine that. You do have people with contending theories and philosophies of the world, different developmental structures, different childhoods even, different life experiences, and putting them all into one space isn't going to work well. This is why national borders exist in the first place. This is why tribes have existed. And yes, I mean, more or less, you did have some tribes be, introduced into others through acts of conquest, so on and so forth. Then they eventually grew, and then nations grew, cultures grew, peoples grew. I understand that. But that happened naturally and organically through elements and activities relating to conquest. But in the system that we live in, we cannot actually participate in those sort of behaviors. I mean, we can, I suppose we can in like a localized sense, but as far as when you're talking about actual nations, you can't just do that anymore. Everything is longhouse to the point where you can't actually participate in those behaviors. And I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm sort of just ad-libbing here. But I'm speaking from the heart, you guys. There's no script. By the way, this show, it has no script. I just speak from the heart. I mean, there's sometimes is like if there's like a specific topic I know about it, I'm talking about, I need to know the facts and figures. But this is unfiltered show. So I'm just telling you what I think. And what I think is what a lot of people think and have thought for the last 10 years, and they're sick of it. And this is why we're living under the regime, the Trump regime that we are. And we need that. Because when you reach a point, and this also happens biologically too, through the act of homeostasis that your body will do to compensate for certain losses. When you're reaching a crucial point of survival, you need a swift and active response. And sometimes that looks violent, and sometimes that looks very, it feels rather unnecessary. It feels rather unhealthy. Inflammation. Okay? When the body's under attack, well, what will happen? It reacts through the process of inflammation, sometimes to an extreme degree where you yourself may not even enjoy it particularly, but it's necessary for survival. And this is what inflammation looks like, okay? In a national sense, I guess you could say.
I'm just trying to show what's going on here. I'm your personal bodyguard now, mother.
I don't know. Maybe my opinions are just. This is not working for some reason. The deep state has cut me off. Maybe my opinions are just unpopular. I don't know. I have a feeling they're very popular, actually, though.
I didn't do anything to you, sir. Now the police are backing up. People have taken over the police here. I just broke the windshield of the police. So it makes no sense. I understand why the protesters are out here today. They're upset with ICE. The police are trying to leave, though, and they won't let the police leave.
What a mess, bro. I mean, there you go.
All of these young people.
What? Oh, hold on a second. Who is this fine gentleman right here in the corner with the suit and the balaclava, someone wrote, and the tie? What kind of tie is that? That's crazy. I don't even have a sound effect for that one. He's just looking pretty good right here. I guess he's with media because he has a microphone.
LA native mob! These are my f***ing children you're fighting! You!
They have their own Valkyrie right here, everybody. Here she is. I think it's a she.
Major Bass! If you can hear me, expect my ass in your office on Monday for attacking my children! This is our city, and this was Mexico! You can't kick us out of the land that was ours!
If you could say something to Donald Trump right now, what would you say?
Donald Trump! You can suck my left nut, you can get out of my f***ing drawer! You're just...
Wait, so is it... She said... Did she say you can suck my left nut? If that is... So it's a guy, then.
Because Salma Hayek wouldn't give you the time of day, bitch! And because Claudia Sheinbaum make you look like a f***ing loser!
What do you mean by your sign?
I mean that, like...
We're in our republic. We're not in their blue line Nazi camp.
All the power in this country comes from the people who established the republic. The streets are safe and secure because we decide not to make them unsafe. And like the way we're being treated on some level is as if we were captives in a concentration camp. We're innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty.
I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it.
They can just drag people off the street just because they think that they're guilty. So.
I'm not going to say it.
With these deportations, they say they're deporting the worst of the worst. Do you think they're deporting the worst of the worst, or do you think they're just taking anybody and anybody?
Well, I just think they're taking anybody and everybody. I live over by a Home Depot, and they were just like dragging guys off the street who were trying to get a
Home Depot. Yeah, that's where they fish them out of. Is Home Depot, of course. Anyways. Again, this is a future we're going to have if we continually live under the oppressive elements of multiculturalism. Too many cultures in one country is bad. It's unnatural, and it is not the recipe for a long-standing nation, okay? I don't think I have to reiterate that any further here. I think it's quite clear. We might come back and watch this a little later, but I want to cover a little bit more news. This was what posted like 2 hours ago. Just in, a huge group of DHS agents just rushed a rioter who was throwing objects at them. As the situation heats up even more in LA, they're fed up, as they should be. Let's watch this clip. Look at them go!
FBI!
Row House? We got $10 from Row House. Row House, wonderful question. Let me get to it. Let me finish this clip.
Nobody did any fucking what the fuck was that? Who are they arrested?
That's right. Row House has sent me $10, and I'm going to respond to your question because that actually, again, Row House, you should be my producer because you always bring in that one story that I was intending to do, and I just forget. Let me open up your chat here, Row House, okay? Because you asked a wonderful question. Let me pin your comment for a second. You wrote so much. So, Daniela, Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh now say as we do. Let's take a listen. I mean, let's open this up here. Okay, guys. Thank you, Row House, for your donation, and thank you so much for the $10. It is so appreciated. Thank you for bringing this to my attention because I was meaning to talk about this. And so I'm going to talk about it right here, actually. Charlie Kirk wrote this. It's time. Okay, so first of all, he's responding to Matt Walsh, and Matt Walsh was based about this at least a little bit more lately. But Matt Walsh, well, I'm not going to pick on him. Who I will pick on is Charlie Kirk. It's time to ban third world immigration, legal or illegal. Okay. We've reached our limit and we have a huge cultural, educational, housing, financial, and essential services problem to fix now. Because of it, we need a net zero immigration moratorium with a ban on all third worlders, okay? So all of a sudden, Charlie Kirk is coming out and saying this. And all I gotta say to this, and what I have said to this, yesterday, actually, Row House, I don't know if you saw my tweet. I have tweeted about this, but he's a grifter. 110% Charlie Kirk is a grifter. I'm sorry to say, but people have been saying this, and people from his own organization and also peripheral to the right wing have been saying this for years, and they have been ostracized. They have been fired from their organization particularly. I'm sorry if you heard that truck. There's a loud truck outside. Yeah, and people have been heavily ostracized from the movement. Where was Turning Point USA, but more specifically, where was Charlie Kirk when all of this was happening? When at the time, we may have not seen the consequences of third world immigration, as well as the consequences of foreign entanglements as well, which he still needs to face. But regardless, we haven't exactly seen the consequences of it at the time, or when it wasn't politically helpful to say at the time. He didn't say it, but all of a sudden, when it's politically expedient for his professional career and his image, all of a sudden he's coming out and saying this freely that, you know, maybe we shouldn't have third world immigration. Well, you know what, Charlie? People have been saying this within your organization and outside of it for years. And you did nothing to really respond to it. Yeah, once in a while he'd come out in a college campus and he'd say, well, we need legal immigration. Everyone in the conservative movement thinks that, okay? That's not really novel to say. I'm on my profile because I'm going to pull up my tweet about this. That's not really novel to say. What we needed him to say, people with his clout and, political capital, was to come out and say this 5-10 years ago when it mattered. Because right now we're facing the consequences of it. That is, and it will be long term. Birth rates are plummeting. The job market is just messed up, right? I mean, not beyond repair, hopefully, but completely messed up. The economy is in shambles. The housing market is in shambles. Why didn't he say this with a man with his political clout back when it mattered? Now, this is what I wrote because about this topic. Can you guys see that? Yeah. This is what I wrote. Charlie Kirk wrote this. For years, the cancel culture. This is the tweet Row House that set me off to this. Although the last tweet that you mentioned or that you linked to also mattered. For years, the cancel culture police relegated Stephen Saylor's writings and observations to the fringe. Now, for those that don't know who Stephen Saylor is, he was a pretty spicy writer. He writes about statistics. I know, pretty spicy. But I have his book here actually, which is I don't know if I'll. There we go. If you want to get yourself one, you can go to Passage Press and get a book. But I have his book. I don't know if I mentioned him on stream before. I'm pretty sure I have. But Stephen Saylor, he has been ostracized from, I would say, mainstream media, especially writing and mainstream journalism, orthodoxy since the 90s, I think. Because he wrote about some things that would be deemed as unpopular, even though it's statistically relevant. But regardless, Steve Saylor has been a talking point within the right wing for a long time. And because he has some spicy takes, people within the mainstream conservative movement didn't want to mention him, including Charlie Kirk. But if you go to his profile and if you search Steve Saylor in his profile, you won't find any tweet or mention of him except this tweet right here. Okay? At least since I last checked. But this is what he wrote. For years, the cancel culture police relegated Stephen Saylor's writings and observations to the fringe, which is true. But the same people who tried to censor him never dared argue against him. He notices stats and insights others either refuse to see or are too cowardly to explore. True. You can disagree with him, but it's a mistake to ignore him. Oh, interesting. He's saying this now. He was able to continue his work because of subscribers on Substack, and today's annual subscribers are up for renewal. Check out what Steve Saylor has been noticing lately, and then he links to his Substack. And he just, had a book done through Publishing Press, which I'm sure is also feeding his bank account. But yeah, I found it odd that he wrote about Steve Saylor. So I wrote this, Charlie, your organization has fired and censored reps and employees who were brave enough to say this when it wasn't popular. And the things that he's saying. So, Row House, to answer your question, this is what I wrote. Opportunism. Charlie sees the writing on the wall and he's quickly shifting ideological gears to maintain relevancy with a more radical youth base. The youth base is becoming more radical, particularly surrounding the issue of immigration. TPUSA, Turning Point USA, and Charlie himself doesn't seem to stand for anything except for Charlie winning. Okay, so that's what I think about this entire endeavor. Row House, has your comment been pinned this entire time? I'm so sorry about that. I am sorry I left your comment pinned for this whole time. My mistake. But anyways, you guys may have not seen the banner. I was pointing to this book right here. Steve Saylor's book. Saylor would be an outstanding guest for Culturama. I completely agree, Row House. I completely agree. You know what? I'll reach out to him. He knows I exist, so I'll reach out to him because I've been commenting on a Substack here and there. He's liked my comments. It is a little too late, Row House. It is a little too late. People have been saying this in the conservative movement for years. People have been saying this within Charlie's organization, Turning Point USA, for years. And for some reason, Charlie and the leadership in the organization and the leadership in mainstream conservatism in America have not taken it seriously. They thought it was too politically spicy. They thought it was unpopular. They thought it would have them lose votes in the election. And it took a man, Donald Trump, to actually run on an issue that people cared about. But still, the mainstream movement, and for those that remember, Charlie Kirk didn't like Donald Trump initially. A lot of the mainstream conservative figureheads didn't. Ben Shapiro as well, and Glenn Beck, Mark Levin. A lot of them didn't like him, Donald Trump. But when it became politically popular to like him, they like him. And when it became politically popular to support more stringent immigration reform policies, they liked that. And when it became popular now to say we shouldn't have any immigration from third world countries, now it's popular to say that. Because it's lining Charlie's pockets, because he's realizing that the youth is becoming more radical in these ideals, and he's not going to get anyone to come to his events like America Fest if he's saying things that the youth doesn't agree with and finds actually politically dead. So now he's coming out all of a sudden after these riots have erupted with these very base talking points. Because if we know Charlie, the first thing that comes to your mind is based, right? No, he's not based. More like boring. But yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to make enemies of powerful people, but he's an opportunist and he's a grifter. Now, as far as Matt Walsh is concerned, Row House, with the link that you sent me, I don't think Matt Walsh is a grifter as much as Charlie Kirk, at least, because Matt has been saying things. Matt has actually some courage to say some of the things that he said. Especially working for the Daily Wire, so good on him. But Charlie, no, he's not real. He's not. I mean, he's a real person, but everything that he embodies is political sugar. It's not real. It's not good for you. It's instantaneous satisfaction to hear what you want to hear. Wow, he's platforming Steve Saylor on his Twitter account. So cool. Where was he back when he started? Because Steve Saylor was ostracized from the right-wing movement since the 90s. So when Charlie was, getting popular and starting TPUSA, he could have said something then. He didn't. Maybe he wasn't aware of who Steven Saylor was. Well, let me tell you, he was well aware of who Steven Saylor was for the last, last 5 to 10 years. I assure you, didn't say a word. But those are my thoughts on it. So thank you for the donation, Rowhouse. Anyways, Justin, Maxine Waters says Americans shouldn't rely on their eyes, everyone. You sent another link. I'll take a look at that, Rowhouse. He says there's no evidence of violence at the LA riots. There was no violence on the street. I know, get it straight. Don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw.
No violence. I was on the street. I know. And I went from downtown detention back out into the community, talking to people what happened in Paramount, what happened in Compton, what happened in Inglewood. So, first of all, get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw. And even
in the video we just watched, one of the guys starting to beat a man up just for asking a couple questions about what they believe in. So I don't know. It looks pretty heated there. But yeah, obviously the Democrats, as we know, they're not exactly the best at lying or pulling the wool over our eyes. Last time they tried to do that, they literally replaced an old man with Kamala Harris and tried to say that was legitimate. So in other news, Trump says this: Gavin Newsom should be arrested over the LA riots. California governor sues Trump administration over illegal deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops to LA. Let's read this. Well, let's listen to this first.
Newsom he's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing.
I can't read because it was free yesterday. Well, too bad, because here's another article. Gavin Newsom, Trump is unhinged, speaking like an authoritarian in response. The California governor blasted Trump amid the president's deployment of National Guard troops to the LA area. California Governor Gavin Newsom said Donald Trump's threats against him and the other Democrats following the president's unilateral deployment of the National Guard troops to the LA area carried all the markings of authoritarianism. Oh, it's scary. It's just an extraordinary moment, he said. I don't want to overstate it, but these are the words of an authoritarian, Newsom said in a Monday interview with Politico. Whether he acts on it or not, that the chill that it creates is real, and it's a serious moment, very serious. Trump and his border czar have targeted Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass by name with threats of arrests and other ominous, unspecified acts to be carried out by federal government. Good, we should scare them, because these people have single-handedly, given their location with the southern border, most likely them and Greg Abbott have single-handedly infected our country with third world peoples. So I hope they're scared. Knowingly, willingly. Greg Abbott obviously isn't as bad, actually. With immigration, he's probably pretty good. But he's actually, because he's pretty good with immigration. But Newsom and the LA mayor, obviously not the best when it comes to securing our country and keeping it safe. So California on Monday sued the Trump administration for authorizing the deployment against their will. The president and aides portrayed the move as just the start of potentially escalated action, including sending hundreds of U.S. Marines from nearby Camp Pendleton. He is unhinged and he's acting recklessly. And the threat of the Marines coming in the United States, this is a very serious and sober moment. We are going to stand firm, says Newsom. So we have people like Maxine Waters telling us, it's not violent, while they're throwing bricks at police cars and threatening to beat up, normal people on the street. And then Gavin Newsom saying that we have an authoritarian on our hands, a potential dictator, sending in troops when clearly there's a need here for it. Do I need to reiterate for you guys anymore how much Kool-Aid these people have drank in this party, obviously? I mean, we all know the Democrats are bad, so I'm not going to focus on this story. We all know the Democrats are bad here. But the amount of foolishness that we have to endure hearing from these people is absolutely ridiculous. So
What the fuck was that? Who are they arrested?
Abbott is only mostly useless. Okay, I've heard mixed things about Greg Abbott. I don't know Texas politics all that much, but from the little bit that I've looked into and seeing, you know, he just seems kind of shifty to me. I don't like him. I don't like him. But as far as immigration policy is concerned, I've heard he's, I guess, decent, but I don't know. He seems shifty. He seems like one of those conservatives that are sold out. Breaking red flags over America. Party for Socialism and Liberation's coordinated chaos in New York City, LA, Chicago, and beyond aims to cripple immigration enforcement and bolster Democrats with violent protests. This story just happened. Unbelievable. They're burning the American flag right there, you guys. I'm going to pull up the next story of the president of Mexico here next. So we can watch that before the commercial break. Mexican president, quote, if necessary, we will mobilize because we don't want taxes on remittances sent by our fellow countrymen. From the U.S. to Mexico, she even calls them her fellow countrymen. How is it possible that the Mexican president can even threaten to mobilize protests in the U.S. soil?
Mexico. If necessary, we will mobilize because we do not want taxes on the remittances sent by our fellow countrymen from the United States.
Remittances, for those that don't know, is the money that is being sent by, as she's accurately pointed out here, Mexican nationals from here over to their original home country and the people of that country. So that's what that means. Robbie Thurman is now a monthly supporter. Robbie Thurman, thank you. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the crew, the Culturama crew. I like Culturama Cult more. So yes, do we need any more evidence of this being an invasion? Ladies and mostly gentlemen. She even calls them fellow countrymen.
States to Mexico. If necessary, we will mobilize.
Additionally, the president of the Mexican Senate is very upset about my bill to quadruple the proposed remittance tax. This is by Eric Schmidt. At the press conference yesterday, he laughed at the idea. Guess what? The remittance tax just got 5% higher. Let's listen to this.
Está el tema del impuesto a las remesas, que ya un senador estadounidense ahora dice que le van a poner 15. Y estás viendo y no ves, senador, ¿no? ¿Cómo se llama el senador? Quieren apagar el fuego con gasolina. La compañera presidenta ha insistido que es el diálogo, el respeto. Está el tema del impuesto a las...
How much more evidence do we need to understand that this is an outright invasion? Not only is it an invasion by an external country, with external peoples coming into our own country, but we have people within our own country subversively, it seems like, letting these people in, wanting us to fail from the inside. That's what it seems like. How else would you describe what Governor Newsom is doing there in SoCal? Okay, so... And the president of Mexico herself even calls them her fellow countrymen. And not only that, but these riots are now going national. In response to us simply enforcing the law, something is very sick in our country. And Part of it is ideologically based. It's, due to democratic policies, due to the liberal infection, due to the dogma and doctrine of multiculturalism, yes. But it's also carelessness. And it was carelessness with the previous administrations and even the previous Republican administrations. And now that we have, it seems like the first administration, now deportations could be higher. I agree with that. Deportations could be higher and they will be higher, it seems like. But because we're actually doing something about it, people are losing their minds over it. And that means that there's something wrong and there's something, that our country's sick. That's all I can say, our country's sick. We don't want these cultures and these peoples in our country, given that they're bringing violence, criminality, human trafficking into our country. And for us to say, hey, maybe we don't want those things, is enough to start riots. Disgusting. Send them back. And send back anyone that is promoting this, even if they are a citizen. Again, I say that hyperbolically. Because, I don't want to say anything that's anti-constitutional or, is bad for the integrity of our constitution or our country. I understand that. But maybe we should just send one person back. This guy, Hassan Piker, everyone. The streamer that we all know and love here and on the Culturama stream is in the riots, and what we see here, he has a little contender in the corner there. We have Sam Hyde, everyone. I forgot to point out this picture, so I wanted to before the next commercial break. Anyways, I will return. We have a couple more stories left, you guys. This has been a pretty fun stream so far. I mean, I've just been complaining about the riots, but I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun? We have a couple more stories, but I just wanted to cover what's happening here and give my 2 cents on this. Everyone stay tuned. We will be right back. Get yourself another snack. Why not? Let's indulge a little. Send in a Rumble rant if you want me to answer any of your questions, and we will proceed further, everyone. Let me play this one commercial for you. I shall return.
In our little town, so serene, where the grass is green and air so clean, we gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh once I end, with values passed from generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts the same old fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine, working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright, got you tight, in our hearts the same old fire. Yeah, oh yeah. We sway with every change of time, but in our hearts, old love and soul, that may be in our heart, getting like a thought ain't not in this fast-paced world we can fight. Traditions keep our hearts going wild, but you'll find in our hearts simple ways, we got it by the good old days.
This is what we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right, don't let the world make your will. Freedom day. So let's embrace.
Watch me on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on X this Saturday. And that will start at the same time, 5 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, we are back. So sorry for that brief commercial break, everyone. Welcome back to Culturama, where we are a riot-free zone here, and we try to keep it that way. And thank you for keeping it that way in the comments for the most part. For the last remainder half hour of the stream, send in any of your donations that you want. Like the stream, share it, follow us, join the Culturama shop. You can go to the ap4libertyshop.com. Once again, that is the letter A, the letter P, the number 4, libertyshop.com. And when you go on there, search the Culturama collection, okay? And that's how you spell it, the Culturama collection. This is the show logo. And on there, you will find pillows like this. You will find pillows like that. This is one of my dysgenic dog. And you will also have a possibility to purchase my very delicious Atomic Blonde coffee, because I am a humble coffee merchant. And I would love for you to buy yourself a bag of my coffee, whether that is just for a one-time purchase or a consecutive purchase of every couple months. It will go a long way in supporting the show, feeding my dog, and you will enjoy coffee. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. We have just a few more things to cover here. What a picture, am I right? Here in the corner, Chuck Norris. I avoid these 3 foods like the plague. Oh boy. I haven't thought about Chuck Norris for a long time. Anyways, I actually wasn't focusing on this picture. I want to focus on this headline here on Zero Hedge. Rogue NGOs prepare for nationwide color revolution. Walmart heiress calls for mobilization. What does this mean? Let's give it a read. A network of NGOs or non-governmental organizations with known affiliations to Marxist-aligned political ideologies initiated coordinated protest activity across LA last Friday, says this article. Almost immediately, these protests escalated into widespread unrest. Okay, we know the story. There's the pictures. So we see the crazy. Look at that. Okay. This is a classic picture right here. This one and the one, it's a big contender between this one and the one with the guy in the car. In response, President Donald Trump authorized the deployment of the National Guard. And of course, we have looting happening. We know this. There's a reason to believe that an early staging of coordinated national mobilization effort is underway to unleash a color revolution across cities. As we've been saying, this has been starting to happen nationwide as well. It is similar to BLM-style protests that morph into riots in 2020, spearheaded by a group identifying as No Kings, okay? For the next few days, or the next couple weeks, pay attention to the No Kings phrase, okay? If you guys haven't heard it yet, you heard it here first on Culturama. No Kings, pay attention to that. This organization appears to function as a front entity for broader far-left networks, with affiliated support from established rogue leftist NGOs, including Indivisible, a Soros-funded nonprofit previously linked to a failed color revolution targeting Elon Musk's Tesla earlier last year. Remember when I covered the Tesla attacks? It's all related. It's all related. This weekend's planned protest is receiving organizational backing, or at the very least, logistical support from nearly 200 groups, including a wide range of NGOs. Here's a partial list for these groups, and here we have a picture of this. I want to see if I can click on it. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in. So if you guys recognize any of these, they're probably funding a riot near you, everyone. So this is blurry, my mistake. We have 350. What's this? Bernie is in here, of course. Care and Action. Catholics are in here. Catholics, conservative Catholics, step up your game. Clean up your church. We have Dems list. Sorry, this is a little bit blurry, but this is what we have. Okay, what else we got here? Some of this I can't read. Pride is in here. Well, not a surprise. Of course, it's also June. Free speech people. Greenpeace. Classic. I'm trying to see if I can recognize any more of these. Next Gen America. Make Polluters Pay. Mayday. So all of these are the organizations that are funding this. Notably, the timing coincidences with June 14th, a symbolic convergence of Flag Day, and President Trump's birthday, a military parade in Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, suggesting a deliberate political signaling behind the mobilized effort. During Flag Day, we may see a big rise in this sort of violent activity, guys. Okay? And there's a map. A nationwide mobilization effort. During May Day, the No Kings movement may launch. Oh my God, look at this area. It's a sea of degeneracy right there. Well, not I guess. Just leftism, general leftism, but it leads to cultural degeneracy at least. FBI Director Kash Patel told media outlet Just the News that the FBI is investigating any and all monetary connections responsible for these riots. Okay. Well, we want to hear more about it. Hopefully he'll tweet a little less. I saw someone write on Twitter. Patel might want to take a look at the funding bill near Walton family heir Christy Walton, one of the heirs to Walmart, that could be involved in the 5001 movement. The leftist group also partnered with No Kings, reposted Walton's protest mobilization ad in New York Times. Who had Christy Walton, Walmart heiress, on your bingo card playing for ads in the New York Times to promote No Kings on June 14th. Now, I don't want a conspiracy post. I'm just putting this out there because I kind of want to be ahead of the curve, and if something happens, I want to be the first to say it. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hopefully nothing bad will happen on Flag Day. But on Flag Day, June 14th, just be a little safe, everyone, okay? Maybe stay home that day. Here was a post that happened that was posted on Facebook. No Kings movement mobilized June 14th. The Hodge twins tweeted, "Hey Walmart, why are the Waltons funding these riots? There's a newspaper ad paid for by Christy Walton, Walmart heir, for this ad. Interesting stuff. Riots and chaos in Los Angeles are creating terrible optics for the Democratic Party. Yes. The NGO's deployment of migrants and radical leftists as frontline actors, some of whom are burning vehicles and looting, has strongly enforced President Trump's mandate that the American people regarding the urgent need to deport criminal illegal aliens." This is okay. I just want to make sure I have that. Oh, hey, James Lindsay talked about this. Let's see. The protests the left is calling No Kings, so next Saturday will be consistently messaged as the left's anti-American Flag Day protests. That's what they are. Okay, James Lindsay tweet right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's on actual L. There is growing public awareness of the Democratic Party's deployment of the dark NGO networks to orchestrate domestic unrest through tactics resembling the 2020 BLM riots. The BLM riots is their script, essentially, that they are running with. And they're fashioning and modeling these riots accordingly to what the BLM riots looked like in 2020. I hope my connection is not... My other laptop is just not connected to the internet for some reason. Anyways, so please, everyone, on June 14th, stay safe out there, especially if you live near a major city. But in other news, thankfully, the rest of the American people... Hold on, let me connect to my phone because I need to see if you guys donated. And I can't do that if my laptop's down. Okay. Rare Lindsay W. Okay, we're back. Okay, let's see here. Now we're connected to my chat. The rest of the American people, however, agree with what Trump is doing, breaking a whopping margin of plus 20 points. Americans approve of President Trump sending the National Guard to the LA riots, 59 to 39%. It was an Insider Advantage poll. This includes 56% of independents and 37% of Democrats agree that law and order needs to be restored back into the United States. Beautiful. Another one. Now, this is another big win for you guys, and I don't know if you're ready for this. I'm ready for it. President Donald Trump announces that he is restoring the name of the Fort Robert E. Lee, amongst others. We are restoring back our national symbols, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have a sound effect for this? I do not. I don't have a sound effect for this. Here. I'll play that. We're also restoring Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and of course, as I've just mentioned, Fort Robert E. Lee.
For a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and Fort Robert E. Lee.
We are so back.
We won a lot of battles out of those forts. It's no time to change. And I'm superstitious, you know, I like to keep it going, right? I'm very superstitious. We want to keep it going. So that's a big story. We just announced that today. For a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring.
Robbie Thurman, thank you so much for your gifted sub to the podcast. It is so appreciated. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, we are so back. Trump orders... Oh my God, these ads. No, I don't want to click on that. Okay. Trump orders names restored to military bases honoring Robert E. Lee and other Confederate leaders. He announced it today that he will restore the names of the list that we have just listened to. What else does this article say? The base that hosted Trump was itself recently renamed. Though, in that case, the Army in February restored its original moniker to honor World War II paratrooper and Silver Star recipient Ronald Bragg, rather than Confederate General Braxton Bragg. Former President Joe Biden renamed the bases honoring the Confederates in 23, with Bragg, the nation's largest base, briefly known as Fort Liberty instead. Biden, Barney Styles wrote, I thought they did Hood already. I have no idea. Maybe. I wouldn't know. But Biden initiated the renaming process in 21 in the wake of nationwide Black Lives Matter protests in the prior year by signing a bill that created a commission and a 3-year timetable to drop tributes to men who led the slave states' revolt between 1861 and 1865. And there's a few pictures of the event. Look at those colorful flags. It's unclear whether Trump requires fresh legal authority to restore the names, particularly those of Fort A.P. Hill and Robert E. Lee. which he implied would be rechristened in honor of someone of the same surname. The base honoring Lee, the top general of the Confederacy, is located in Petersburg, Virginia, south of Richmond, and houses the sorry, I just got a notification, my ADD, and houses the U.S. Army Ordnance Corps and the Quartermaster Center and School. Those having their names stripped from the bases pursuant to the latest change included former President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander in Europe during World War II. I was at Stone Mountain, actually, in Georgia, like a year ago at this time, and I was heard at some news that they were trying to do something with that as well. It has Confederate leaders on that mountain as well. I think it's the largest Confederate monument of the United States. But that one hasn't been affected. But it's a shame how much has been renamed in the United States. And it's such a shame because, that is our history. You go to places in Europe that really does have a fairly significant history that the United States couldn't even hold a candle to. And, of course, they, for the most part, retain those strongholds of historic identity and information. But here in the United States, we just deface it. It doesn't matter. Remove it, deface it, rename it. No respect for our roots. A country that doesn't know its history, doesn't respect its history, is completely divorced from its history, and therefore divorced within itself and its an identity. And I think this is why we're suffering so much within our own nation, culturally, as we are seeing it happen today. And this has been going for far too long. The era of COVID is, of course, disintegrating, because we have been seeing a lot of these changes happen during COVID, post-COVID, George Floyd riot era. That's coming to an end. That's not happening anymore. And thank God for Trump in office, because if it was Kamala right now, it would be Summer of Love 2.0. And we would be seeing more of these changes occur, especially name changes. And that's not happening anymore. The specter of COVID and what it brought upon this nation and liberalism in general is proving to be highly unpopular with the American people. And thankfully, regardless of what you think about Trump, at least he's trying to retain some of the order back into our country. And I'm thankful to see that I retained some of the viewership on my Rumble once again. 35 viewers on Rumble. That's pretty good for me. Thank you, everyone that has joined today on Culturama. I have one more story, and then I have to end it here. But this one's a little creepy. I won't go in commercial break. I'll just talk about it. There's a surge of serial killers, you guys. What is going on? Look at this. Fears of a serial killer prowling Texas after 19 bodies pulled from the lake in 3 years. So I wanted to talk about this last week. I didn't have time to. I want to talk about it here because I see that there's another New England serial killer potentially. Also, this article was posted 2 days ago. This one last week. Let's give it a read, shall we? For those of you living in Texas and the New England area, please be safe. And by the way, they're not just targeting women. I see 2 guys here, okay? So fellas, this applies to you too. This isn't your classic serial killer of the 60s or the 70s where they just killed only pretty blonde girls, okay? In fact, maybe they're avoiding pretty blonde girls, and I am safe. Rumors of a serial killer in the major U.S. city are swirling after 19 bodies have been pulled from a lake in 3 years. Okay, I won't make any light of it. It's a serious topic, but my apologies. A body believed to be of a teenage boy that was missing since Sunday was discovered by a paddleboarder in a lake in Austin, Texas. The discovery has renewed fears that a mass murderer dubbed the Rainy Street Ripper, have you guys heard of that? I haven't heard of that, is on the loose in the city with close to 1 million residents. Police insisted a killer is not roaming the streets and have said only one of the cases was a homicide. Sure, buddy. Laissez-faire, bruh, wrote, if I die, I die. I'm with you on that, in that boat, laissez-faire, bruh. If it's time, it's time. Why suffer any longer on this planet? None of us consented to exist. So I'm with you. Early investigations show that got dark. I'm sorry. Early investigations show that the teenager was with his family on kayaks and paddleboards on the lake when he fell into the river and did not resurface. It was, however, the 30th male corpse to be discovered in or around the lake since 2022. 30th. Of all 38 deaths associated with Lady Bird Lake in the nearby area, 60% were aged between 39 to 49, while 2 were teenagers. So this person has a type. Okay. For those of you that watch me that are between the ages of 39 and 49, please be careful, especially if you live near Austin, Texas. Okay, I won't get into details because it's kind of gruesome, actually, but as I'm skimming this article. But potentially a serial killer in Texas, everyone. And then I came across this article today. New England serial killer fears stoked by 13th body found in a small town. Fears of a serial killer prowling New England are growing again after another woman was discovered dead under circumstances her family described as suspicious. The body of Adriana Suazo, 21, was found by a passerby on June 1st in the woods of Milton, a Massachusetts suburb. It remains unclear what led to the death. Suazo's body showed no signs of trauma, according to the state's office and chief medical examiner. But it marks the 13th body to show up with little explanation in the bucolic Northeast region this year. Bucolic, huh? Using really big words for this article. I just want to know the truth about what happened to her, her sister said, obviously. Obviously. Bodies, mostly, this is a woman, this one is a female killer. Bodies, mostly women, have been found across a wide swath of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Maine since March, with most turning up in wooded areas. So this one for sure probably is a serial killer because there's a pattern here in behavior and how the bodies are found and what the behavior would have been behind killing them. Dumping him in a wooded area. Causes of death have been varied from grisly dismemberment to unattended deaths. But the volume of bodies have sparked public speculation that there may be one perpetrator behind them. Okay, fair enough. Those theories have simmered in a Facebook group titled the New England Serial Killer Facebook group. I am not surprised there's a Facebook group dedicated to this. White women are crazy. They will obsess about this kind of stuff. It's strangely enough, it is white women. I don't mean that. I'm not trying to say that to be like, you know, prejudice or anything. It's just I've noticed that. Police and local prosecutors, however, have dismissed claim as usual. They always do this because they don't want people to panic. They did the same thing with the Zodiac killer. They said there was, I mean, initially they did. They don't want people to panic. But they probably already know what's happening. But anyway, they stated there's no information suggesting any connection to similar remains, discoveries, and there's also known to be a threat to the public. There is not a known threat to the public at this time. But if you have common sense, you probably, if you're a lady, not walk out at night. Anyway, if anyone lives in this area, be safe because this is where the hits have happened, okay? Accidentally Suave admits his wife does love murder podcasts. Thank you for confirming, Accidentally Suave. Oh, wow. What a fitting name for this one right here. Killingly. Come on. If you name a town like that, of course stuff like this is going to happen, right? Killingly? Really? Anyways. New Haven. More like a new heaven. Okay. The first victim was a 35-year-old Paige Fannin who was found in Connecticut's Norwalk River. Days later, the dismembered body of a 58-year-old Suzanne Wormser was found in a suitcase. And then 59-year-old Denise Leary was found on March 25th. And a 56-year-old Michelle Romano's remains discovered as well in Rhode Island the next day. Is that a far... They're all very close. I can't imagine a drive would be that far, actually. So it very well could be one person. The 4 bodies were found in April across Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, including the body of 45-year-old Megan Meredith. And before Suazo, the last body was a 34-year-old Jasmine Wilkes, was found in New Haven Park. Guys, be safe, stay safe out there. But we seem to be having a new moment, a new serial killer moment, with one potentially in Texas and another one in New England. Strange. I live in the serial killer capital in the Pacific Northwest, and nothing's happening here yet. Stay safe out there, you guys. It's very dangerous out there. What a show today. We'll have to cut it here, guys, at 2 hours in. But I appreciate everyone showing up today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I know I did. It was pretty fun. I'm so upset that I did the Charlie Kirk spiel with the banner up. I feel so stupid. That would have been clipped. It would have been so good. I would have clipped it in Opus Clips and posted it on social media, and I had this stupid banner up like a moron. Typical Daniela L. Maybe it was for a reason. I don't know. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna do my outro. Thank you everyone that has joined us today. Let me do my little outro here. Thank you for all your donations, your support, and becoming members here today, everybody. But I think the lesson and moral for today's episode is keep America American. Am I right? End the cancer of multiculturalism and restore law and order back into the United States. Let's actually respect our country and only allow people to come into this country that are willing to respect our country. But at this point, I don't even know if we can retain any more people at this rate, because boy, our country is in a dismal state right now and we're just trying to fix it back, everyone. So but yes, thank you for your support, but let's continue having these conversations outside of the podcast, of course, because it seems like the majority of Americans agree with what I'm saying and agree with what you guys are probably saying as well. So let's be bold in our beliefs and talk about it. And talk about, apparently Charlie Kirk's even talking about it, no more third world immigration. Legal or illegal. It's ruining our country. It's ruining our country, and it shows. Okay. Where's my Stream Deck thing? Thank you everyone that has joined us tonight on Culturama, where on this show we are trying to reclaim the zeitgeist of traditional Americana back into the United States. Row House has just donated $5. No, Row House, you're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine. I was a really smooth outro too. Let me respond to your... Hang on. Cha-ching! Row House donated $5. Thank you so much, Row House. That's okay. Let's see what you said. Where is the... This quote, Daniela. Let's see what you said here, Row House. Oh, beautiful, beautiful quote. Beautiful quote. I can read this. You guys should have helped me get Leo tonight. There's always next time, Row House. On Thursday, we can get Leo out. Oh, but this would have been a great Leo episode. Oh, because it's like the LA riot Mexican He has a sombrero too. Damn it. Maybe on Thursday we'll do something like that. I think I'll still be talking about the riots anyway, so it'll still be a topic of the news. But Patrick J. Buchanan quotes, ladies and gentlemen, Mexican immigration is a unique, disturbing, and looming challenge to our cultural integrity, our national identity, and potentially to our future as a country. Actually, it's by Samuel Huntington, but the Twitter account is Patrick J. Buchanan quotes. I love this quote. In fact, I'm going to retweet it. Should I quote tweet it? I'll just say yes. We'll keep it short. Why not? You guys better go like my tweet, by the way, because if you watch this stream, you better support my Twitter account. Go follow me on Twitter at DC Pensec. Thank you so much for that donation, Row House. I do appreciate that, and I'm glad I read it because it's very true. Okay, now back to the outro. As I was saying, not that sound effect. Where is it?
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back.
Retaining a national integrity is necessary right now for the survival of our country. And we're working towards reclaiming that again and reclaiming the national identity. Every single one of you that has joined the stream today is taking a part of that battle in reclaiming national identity. I really do mean that, because here we espouse values and virtues that promote that idea. So thank you for contributing. And thank you for just joining the chat and the stream. I really appreciate it, you guys. I'll see you guys on Thursday. We have a wonderful interview, and it's going to be a great episode as usual. I really much appreciate it, but I'm going to go for tonight. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your evening. Spend the time with your friends, your families, and stay safe out there as usual, I always say. But God bless. And let's keep fighting the good fight together, everyone. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening.
Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we stride in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now.